Speech off.
Hey guys, this is Skylar. I am completely blind. I'm autistic and I have a chronic heart condition. The autism is what we're going to be talking about today. My journey with autism. Now, we didn't know that I had it all my life. I was born with it. You're either born with it or you're not, but we didn't know that I had it. According to my mom, I've always had therapy ever since I was 6 months old just because I am completely blind. But I don't remember any of that because I was in diapers. I don't remember anything from when I was in diapers. Okay. But my mom does, obviously. And she said I had therapy because I was blind since I was 6 months old through the local services for the blind where we are. Anyways, so I'm going to tell you what I can remember from my point of view. The first thing I can remember is I still am, super obsessed with words. Now, when I was really, really, really young, it was things like frogs. I would talk about frogs all the time. Ask mom. I would talk about frogs and this and that. And almost every time I took a breath out, frog came out of my mouth. I'm not joking, but I would talk about frogs all the time. And, that might not seem autistic to you, but I looked it up, when I became an adult and we had these things called tablets. And it's called special interests. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Let me just get through the story, okay? So I would get super obsessed with frogs, and then later on it became bees. Frogs and like bumblebees and stuff. And then later on, I was obsessed with wine. Like both homophones, both the wine that your dog does when it wants food and the wine that you drink that's made out of fermented grapes. I was obsessed with both wines. And I would I still do this. I'm not obsessed with the word wine anymore, but I still will go on my mom or dad, like when I want them to love on me or give me attention, I'll go on them, or I'll go to them if I just am needing some love. And but back then, I wasn't allowed to do that. It was socially unacceptable to on people. And I would get put in timeout when I was in school for being on staff or students. Also, there was a song, because I used to be obsessed with wine. There was a song called "Strawberry Wine" by Dina Carter, and anytime anybody mentioned anything strawberry to me, it would remind me of that song. So then I got obsessed with strawberries because of the song. And mom told me it was socially unacceptable to talk about strawberries and wine and stuff. My mom was very much for socially acceptable, politically correct. She didn't really understand my autism. She is a lot better at that now, but back then, she was super strict on me. Like, if I took the wrong kind of breath, she would get mad. And I realized, she just didn't want me to grow up, being made fun of or being the odd one out or being this and this. But, the way she delivered on it was a little. Anyways. And none of the other people in my schools, I say schools because I went to multiple schools, plural, did any of this. Not even any of the other blind kids. Nobody else got hooked on words. Nobody else did any of the stuff that I did. And still do. Other thing that I remember now, retrospect, is I didn't like to mix my food. Like, my mom would always give us some type of main, usually some type of meat dish, and then usually some veggies on the side, like green beans or peas or something. And mom was like, you can't just mix up your food like this. And I just never, nope. My autism did not like that. One time my mom took me to a pep rally, And it was so loud. Like I said, we didn't know I had autism. It was so loud that I remember just shutting down. And my mom tried to talk to me, and some other guy tried to talk to me, and nobody could get in. Like, I wouldn't talk to anybody. I wouldn't answer anybody. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I just shut down. This is because it was very loud, and the noise made me, like, freak out. I had an anxiety attack. I guess what I would now say, I had an anxiety attack. So, yeah. I was always, I never liked loud noises and being around anything that can trigger, me to have what I now know is an anxiety attack. Now, what I remember that diagnosed me, I went to the school for the blind where I live, and one of the teachers there was a child psychologist. I was 11, and I was hooked on the letters. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the letter Z thing. Ugh, pain. When I was 11, I told you I was hooked on words, which I still am. Okay, just not the same words. Anyways, when I was 11, I got hooked on the letter Z, like Z as in Zulu. And I used to be hooked on words like Zimbabwe, zebra, zombie, zucchini, words like that start with Z. There was one of them that I didn't like, but I've already covered that in previous videos. Anyways, and one time I went with what is now my ex-friend, me and my brother. He was like 10 or 9, and me and my brother and my ex-friend, we went to a park and we went swinging and we had fun, and I was saying Z words like every 5 seconds. Like, my friend goes, okay, it's time for us to go, no time to dilly-dally. And dilly-dally means like waste time, dawdle, whatever. Basically, hurry up. But instead of saying dilly-dally, I said, okay, Cameron's my brother, no time to zilly-zally, with Z's. And anytime she would try to tell me to stop saying Z words, I would put my hands over my ears. When I got back, I fell asleep. I guess I was tired. I don't know. And when I woke up, I got slaughtered by my mother. She, yelled her brains out because I was saying my friend and my brother snitched on me while I was sleeping and told Mom that I was using Z words and that I was doing this and that and that and this, blah, blah. And my mom, when she woke me up, for starters, because I get my nights and days mixed up, because I'm blind. Anyway, she woke me up and was like, you can't go to sleep right now, it's only in the afternoon, blah, blah. And she slaughtered me for using all the Z words and said that I was basically never, ever in my life allowed to use a word that started with Z. Ever in my whole entire career was I to use a word that started with Z. And like I said, she was super, 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 super strict. And I'm surprised she has any blood vessels left in her neck. That's how hard she was yelling. Anyways, so yeah, it was basically that. I just had to cold turkey with Z's. Secret, I didn't really do that. I just didn't say them in front of my mom because I knew I'd get slaughtered. When I went to school, we did a room time, which means I was not allowed to say any Z words during the day, but 8:30 was room time at school, and so, which is time that, basically pre-bedtime, time that you wind down, do your pre-bedtime routines, blah, 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 brush your teeth, get ready for bed, blah, blah, lights out. Okay? Me and my teacher would do a room time where I was allowed to sing, write, and talk, etc., chant even my words that started with Z. When I went home that summer, I asked my mom if I could do that room time in my room, and she said no. So it was pretty much cold turkey with the Z's until I went back to school that year. Now, when I had autism, she kind of when she figured out that autism is what I had, she kind of loosened up with me about the whole Z thing, but she was still kind of strict. And like at first she was trying to tell me that the reason that I was doing what I was doing is because I was because I was blind. That's why I was getting hooked on words. And I knew that was a big fat load of poppycock because none of my other blind kids talked like I did. None of them got hooked on words. None of them. Zero. Also, regression is one of the things that I would do. Like, not regression, like I didn't turn into a baby overnight, but like I would talk like a younger kid. Even though, like Mom says, I'm super smart, I would talk like a younger kid. Like, I was 9, for example, and Mom said I was talking like a 3-year-old. I still do that, kinda. I still sleep with a baby doll in my bed. I still call my mom mommy. Like in my contact, she's mommy. That's just who I am. Anyways, so that's that. So I knew that the blindness wasn't the reason I was doing what I was doing. Has nothing to do with me being blind. Later, when I went back to school, my teacher diagnosed me with autism, with Asperger's. She sent home a book with my mom to read to me. That book should have been named Dringa Vlogs. Every symptom that they had talked about in the book was me. It literally should have been, my name should have been the title of the book. So then we figured out, what I had and how to more appropriately, I guess, treat it, I guess. Anyways, another thing that I would do, and I don't do this anymore because Mom says it's not safe, but like when I'm in the car and my mom is like, or anybody that might be in the car with is like road raging or something, I would reach down and tighten up my seatbelt a little bit, and that would make me feel calmer. But my mom said not to do that because if we go into a wreck, the seatbelt will like split me in two. But the reason that now that I know I have autism, what happened with the seatbelt is that when I tightened it up a little, I got deep pressure input and it helped me calm down. I didn't tighten it up to where like, I was strangling myself or something, but just like a few centimeters to where it was a little bit tighter around my middle. And so it gave me, like, I sleep with a weighted blanket right now on my bed. There's a weighted blanket. So, yeah. It kind of was a tough going through the journey and going through, what I went through. But now that I'm an adult, my mom is like looser on me than she was when I was a kid. She lets me pretty much buy whatever I want, with my money, do whatever I want. Like I said, I sleep with baby dolls and on my bed and stuff like that. And I watch, when I'm not watching my murder true crime, I'm watching like the kids' cartoon channels. That's just who I am. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and God bless.